the biggest mistake I've done is not believing in myself. And I've been doing that mistake for the past, like, really consciously the past 3 years. Like, even though I know the work within is the work we have to do is within, I just still, like, there was so much resistance. There was so much, like, self-sabotage because, like, believing in ourselves was just, like, a weird thing to do. And it still kind of is. But thankfully this year I've really been working on that, and I just have a bit more confidence. I don't know how to measure my confidence, but it's definitely more than it used to be, and I'm definitely being more consistent with my stuff. So I could definitely feel a difference, and just like the being more proactive instead of reactive, that's really been like one of the biggest things that's been really helpful in, like, in this journey of, like, believing in myself and, like, seeing the possibilities and whatnot. So before we get started, welcome to another episode of Mama Marisco. We have another solo episode with your host Andrea, and if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, share with anybody you think is going to be helpful for this episode. Is going to be helpful or a big reminder for them. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you can also follow there. You can comment on Spotify, so leave your comments down below and, like, tell me, what did you think about this episode? Did you need this one? Did it make sense? Did it not make sense? Like, give me some feedback, give me some advice, please. And with that being said, let's start with the episode. So again, the biggest mistake I've done is not believing in myself, and even, like, now I'm still in that process of improving my self-confidence. And even, like, recently, something I heard about confidence was, it's not about, like, feeling or doing or, like, having this feeling of, like, I'm good. It's more of like, having confidence is when you're in doubt, when you're in, like, fear, when you're in this, like, not so great state, but you don't let that become an obstacle, and you keep going on the thing that you were working on. So that's what I've heard about confidence recently, and that really gives you permission to be okay with your feelings. Like, sometimes at least before, I used to think of a lot of, like, I need to be happy, but happiness, turns out, it's a choice. Like, happiness is a choice that you have to make every single day, and you can do certain things to choose happiness and to react differently to things that you might have reacted to differently before and whatnot. So when we choose to also believe in ourselves, and we start seeing of the amazing things that we do, the talents, the gifts, and even when we think we don't have any gifts or when we don't have any talents, when we start having more clarity, and when we start, like, either meditating or just asking ourselves questions, or just also, like, analyzing other people and, like, oh, actually, they can do this really good. And then when you analyze yourself, like, oh, actually, I'm really good at this. Or even asking people, like, your family, co-workers, friends, like, what do you think I'm good at? What do you think I are my talents, are my gifts? And most of the time, hopefully, like, people are going to tell you, oh, you're actually really good at this, or you're actually really good at that, or you could do this. And I think, like, that's really hard for me, but for you, it actually seems pretty easy to. And sometimes we don't notice because, again, it comes naturally. So yeah, so I forgot where I was going with this. So believing in ourselves is definitely, like, once you start having clarity, once you start redirecting your thoughts, and you create, like, either those affirmations and those visualizations and all these techniques that we could use, meditation, just, like, in the morning, and smiling and be like, yo, Andrea, we have another day, like, this is gonna be amazing, today's gonna be amazing. There's also, like, these 3 questions that I try to ask myself in the mornings, and they're in Spanish. So the first one is, ¿qué más es posible? Like, what else is possible? ¿Cuáles son los ¿Qué milagros tienes para mí el día de hoy? Like, what miracles do you have for me today? And ¿cómo puede mejorar mi día? how can my day get better? And you're asking those questions to the universe. You're asking the universe, and the universe is gonna answer. So I've been doing that, and then like amazing things that happen, whether it be like me getting a free lemonade, or me getting amazing tips, or me having an extra day of work where it's like, oh shit, I really need the money. I was like, okay, now because of this day at work, I'm gonna be able to like complete it, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I think once we start doing like those little things, you start getting more confidence in yourself, and it's like, oh shit, actually I could do this, I could do that. You start getting more excited, you start getting more curious, and even when you get into those funks, you can become aware of it, and you could either like feel the funk and be like, okay, we're gonna be here for a little bit, we're gonna maybe see what's going on, what's the root of this, and then redirect the things, like, and remind yourself, oh, actually we're thinking this, but in reality, like, this is actually what's going on. And once you start like speaking to yourself and talking to yourself about, this is actually not this is not the way that it's actually what it actually is, you start kind of like lowering your funk, like going back, getting more energy, getting more confidence in yourself. And then also like those little small wins, where like usually the reason we don't believe in ourselves, or we don't have a lot of confidence or self-esteem, is because we feel like we haven't done enough. We feel like we haven't done the things that we want to do, or like when we say we want to do things, we don't really commit to it. And it's like, see, again, I forgot to exercise, and it's like, oh, I knew this was gonna happen. Like, you start having that type of talk, you start lowering yourself, your believing in yourself. But once we start doing little small wins, where it's like, okay, I'm gonna exercise for like 5 minutes today, and you start exercising for a whole week for 5 minutes, and you start getting the confidence, because like, okay, I am committed. And then we add another 5 minutes, so it's like 10 minutes the next week, and then another 5 minutes the next week, and we keep committed to that. Then you could add another project, you could add another habit, and blah blah blah. So that's probably one of the things that I've been struggling with the most. But the wins, at least the small wins for me right now, it's like posting a video or recording a video. Yeah, I think that's it. No, like doing my push-ups or exercising, like doing like exercising five times a week, and drinking more water, and stuff like little stuff like that. Like, really, I am not putting a lot of pressure on myself, because that's something I struggle with a lot. So just being able to do the videos is definitely like a win. Right now, I haven't put a lot of pressure on like waking up early, but I've been waking up early, so that's really nice. Mostly because I have to go to work, but like let's say today I didn't have to go to work, but I woke up early, so that was really, really nice. I was like, okay, like actually this is really exciting. I've been going to sleep early, and I've been consistent with my sleeping schedule. So even like now thinking about it, like that's actually a win for me. And when we don't talk about it, when we're not aware of it, you kind of like forget about it, and it's like, actually, what are my wins? Like, and you start doubting yourself. Like, actually, I haven't really done anything. But then you analyze, and you start like, oh, actually, I've been doing this, and actually I've been doing that, and then you start realizing, okay, actually I've been doing stuff. And it's like, because something's routine, or life is like everything becomes routine or autopilot, we kind of like forget to see those things. But then we start analyzing, we start seeing things, and it's like, actually we've been doing a lot. We actually been maybe it's just like mindset stuff. Like, there we go. I've been doing my meditations with Melissa Pierce every single night. I've been doing visualizations at night. I've been doing them in the morning as well, where it's like, what's my perfect day, and start visualizing that. So I've been doing stuff like that, and we forget about those things. We forget about the things that we're doing to change the things within. And because sometimes we may not see it outwardly, and we kind of like forget, or we think like we're not doing anything, but sometimes it starts all in our head, and sometimes we don't see it because we've also been programmed to like see external results and see what's happening in the outside, and we forgot to kind of like look what's happening in the inside, and the changes that we're making, and how all of that is benefiting ourselves and our mindset, and how we feel about ourselves. So yeah, definitely actionable steps. If we want some actionable steps, it's like, write down a list of all the things that you've been doing, whether it's like a one-time thing, or it's been a consistent thing, and getting out of your comfort zone, going out for walks, visualizing your dream car for your road trip, stuff like that. And then external stuff where it's like maybe you've been exercising more, you've been drinking more water, you've been eating more healthier, is that a word? Eating more healthier. I don't know what the word is. I think it's eating more healthier. I don't know. But yeah, just like write down a list, and every time like you do something, like write it down. And when you feel you're going into that funk, or you feel like you're doubting yourself, like take out that list and be like, oh shit, actually I've been doing this, I've been doing that. Let's keep going. So yeah, I think that's all for today. For today's episode, I don't really have a lot. I feel like it's always the same things. Like, we just gotta believe in ourselves. And doing the work of like meditation, visualizations, redirection with our thoughts, emotional regulation, delayed gratification. What's the other one? Doing things in moderation, like seeing, analyzing, becoming aware of the things that we're doing. Like, is this really benefiting me? Benefiting me? Is that how you say it? Benefiting me. Knowing what your rich life is, doing a conscious spending budget, or asking yourself these questions are really, really important. Like the long-term things, like what do I want, what type of lifestyle do I want, how much money do I want to be making this year, and all of that is going to lead you to like doing the thing, having more clarity, doing the thing, improving your skills, knowing the skills that you're already good at, and just increasing your confidence and believing in yourself that it is possible, and knowing and giving yourself grace that we're not gonna have all the answers, especially us who like don't have like the mentors and don't have like people around us who are doing the thing, or even if they are doing the thing, like they're also just starting, so they themselves are figuring it out. So shout out to my mom, shout out to my cousin Jazz, and Edwin and their family, who are doing the thing, and we're taking risks, and we have no fucking clue what we might be doing, but we know like this is what we want, and we're doing the thing, and we're believing in ourselves, and we're like, we don't know what's gonna happen, we don't know how it's gonna happen, we don't know where it's gonna lead us really, but we're choosing to do the thing. We're choosing to follow our excitement and follow our passions, or what we think, or following our curiosity, and even with our fears telling us like this is not it, or this is like what's gonna happen with this, what's gonna happen, blah blah, not letting it stop us from doing the thing. So with that being said, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Remind yourself that you are worth it. You are deserving all these things. Que te lo mereces, me lo merezco. Like, tell yourself every single day, me lo merezco. And work on yourself. Like, really, really, let's work on ourselves. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Have an amazing, beautiful day, and I'll see you in the next one.